Hi guys, Weekly Wax Melts number 14. We've had another week of crazy temperatures. Last week we had one day where it was 65 degrees during the day, dipped down to like 34 that night. And then Saturday we had 85 degrees and it was extremely humid. It's humid again here today. But I know that everybody is eagerly anticipating fall, or most of you are. So I did focus on more fall type scents this week when I was burning, or last week when I was burning. Some of them might not be what some of you might consider typical fall scents, but they're fall scents to me. So I'm just going to jump in and get started. I melted Why I Autumn. Now, this is not the typical fall scent as far as, it's not one of those where you get an overabundant amount of cinnamon or anything like that. This, the first thing I smell cold is crushed leaves, like dry crushed leaves in the fall, and musk. But then you also get, there is spice in here. You get a little bit of cinnamon and some clove, a little bit of anise. I think there's supposed to be apple in here, although I do not smell apple. I didn't smell it in the warmer either. This had an extremely strong throw. That's why I only had to melt a quarter of a scent shot to fill probably about 1,400 square feet. And there is some vanilla in here to sweeten it up. So this is really nice. I give this one 4.5 stars, and I know it's a big favorite among a lot of Victoria's customers. I also melted Coffee Bean. Now this is what I meant when I said these might not be typical fall scents. To me, Coffee Bean is, I guess I consider it more of a fall scent because when I think fall, I'm thinking of those cold, frosty nights or early mornings when we have frost on the ground, and you know, you want to grab a hot cup of coffee or tea or hot chocolate or whatever to warm yourself up. So I give this 5 stars. If you want a straight up coffee scent, this is it. This is probably more of like a dark roast coffee, and it does have a tiny little bit of sweetness to it, but I love this one. I melted Gooey Pumpkin Butter Cake, another big favorite among Victoria's customers since this came out. To me, this smelled almost identical to pumpkin pralines, which is one of my absolute favorite scents from Victoria. This one, however, was not as rich and not as buttery. And it was, to me, it smelled a little bit heavier on the spice because it was lacking that caramel note that you get from pumpkin pralines. So I like this. I still prefer pumpkin pralines. I give this one 4.5 stars. If you want the pumpkin and the spice without the butter, then this is the scent shot for you. It really is. It's very, very nice. I also melted Country Bumpkin, another 5-star scent for me. Now this one does have strong cinnamon in it, and it is more of a red hot cinnamon. You also get a little bit of clove and a little bit of nutmeg. There's some sweetness in here, and the sweetness that I got once it went in the warmer smelled similar, and I can kind of get it in here even smelling it cold, but cold all I basically smell is red hot cinnamon. So you're going to have to throw this in your warmer to get the full effect. The sweetness smells like it's marshmallow or honey. It smells more like marshmallow, I guess, than it does honey. And that did come out a lot more in the warmer. This is another that's supposed to have apple in it, or does have apple in it. I did not smell apple when it went in the warmer, but this is still a favorite, and one that I think a lot of people will probably really enjoy for fall. And I actually, I love Coffee Bean and Country Bumpkin together. They remind me of my grandma. I know I say that a lot, but my grandma was a very, very important person in my life, and she was always baking. There was always a pot of coffee percolating. Yes, that was before we had automatic coffee makers. So, you know, and maybe that's part of the reason I like the coffee bean scent so much too, is because it reminds me of her when, excuse me, you'd walk in the house and, you know, you'd hear that percolator going, and the combination of the bakery scent. So, the combo that I did of the two, country bumpkin and coffee bean, I called Farmhouse Gathering, and again, it just reminds me of my grandma. So I melted Under the Harvest Moon. Now this is a combination of, I think I just blew wax all over everything. This is a combination of YI Autumn and Leaves Type. Leaves Type, excuse me again, is not one of my favorites. I get a fuel oil smell from it once it has been in the warmer for a long time. But the combo of the two is absolutely fantastic. And where YI Autumn was missing that apple note, I did get that apple in here. So I prefer this over YI Autumn, and I give this one 4 3/4 stars. I melted Cinnaberry. Actually, I melted one extra scent shot this week because I melted the YI Autumn on Saturday when my husband was home, and he didn't care for the scent, so I swapped it out. So you're getting one extra scent shot this week in this review. And he chose to melt Cinnaberry, which is a combination of cranberry and cinnamon. And again, it's that red hot cinnamon. He loved this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was a lovely scent. You know, it's a very simple scent. Like I said, cranberry and cinnamon, but it's really nice. And this is one of those scents that's kind of has that, you know, like walking into a craft store during the fall. That's what the scent shot is. I melted Chai Tea, another one of those scents that, you know, you think fall and you're thinking, oh, I need a glass of or a cup of something warm to warm me up. This was wonderful. Now, when I smell it cold, I get a hint of powder out of here. And I did get a little bit of a powdery scent once it went in the warmer, but not as strongly as I do cold. That powderiness kind of went away. This is another 4.5 star scent. It's clove and cinnamon and ginger, and they all blend so perfectly. And then you get just a hint of vanilla in here, or honey. I believe it's honey in this one. Maybe it's both. Anyway, when it went in the warmer, this smelled like chai tea, and the spices that are in here do blend so perfectly that you don't get that like bite that you can sometimes typically get if something is overly seasoned or, you know, has an abundance of spices in it. You don't get that out of this. This was wonderful. And the 5-star scent of the week, and what's in my warmer right now, is Blackberry Caramel Rice Pudding. This is amazing. Now, I only get a hint of blackberry, and I love Victoria's blackberry scent. And I don't normally, caramel is not a very easy scent for me to detect. In here, it is the strongest scent, both warm and cold. This smells pretty much identical in the warmer as to what it does cold and in the, you know, in the cup. I love this. I've always wanted to be able to smell that caramel note fairly heavily, and this is the strongest one I have found so far. Like I said, this is perfect, and I think this would be fantastic with some McIntosh apple tossed in. So I'm going to give that a try. I haven't come up with the name yet. I guess I don't really have to come up with a name yet because I'm out of McIntosh apple. But if you like Victoria's blackberry scent, if you like that really thick, rich, buttery caramel, I think you are going to love this. I know I do. So that's it for this week, guys. As always, thank you for watching. and I'll see you next week.